Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the hand joints for Morty here. If you go to the right hand for a second, you see here that I've already made one with all of the joints aligned for the hand. And I'll quickly show you how to do that process there. It's quite simple. It's the same sort of system we've done with doing the rest of the rig, like the legs or the skeleton. What we're going to do is make sure that you're on rigging and select the joint icon. And for this we want to be in the top view. I'm just going to turn on the renderer here. And again, make sure that you select the wrist joint and select away to put a joint in there. And when doing the hand, you need to make sure that you think about how many joints you're going to need, because again, if you just kind of move your fingers right now and just like open and close your fists, you see that there's quite a bit of articulation in our fingers. So you need to make sure that you're putting in the correct amount of joints in order to make sure that you can have like an open and closed fist and be able to kind of move your fingers in various different directions. I would say go for about 4 joints in the hand. Again, because it's kind of like a super deformed character, you can kind of get away with 3, but 4 is pretty much the kind of the base standard, as it allows for a lot more articulation in the hand. So for instance, we're going to definitely have one at the top, so we might have one here in the middle, one around here, then one last one at the tip of the hand. Then we'll just press enter and pretty much do the exact same thing for the rest of it. So we'll have one at the base, one kind of around the middle, one near the top, then one right at the end. Press enter, and again keep going through the motions with this, adding in about 3 or 4 joints to the hand. 3, 4. And for this one I might kind of move them around a bit higher and lower. Again, you might need to play around with these sometimes. So for instance, I think around here should be fine. Yep. So again, make sure you select the wrist, then drag away. Make sure you have about 4 joints in there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Last but not least will be the thumb. And again, same for the thumb as well. It's not much difference from the actual fingers themselves. Put about 3 or 4 joints in there just to be safe. Yep. And go back to my perspective view, and just make sure that the joints are relatively in the middle of the actual geometry itself. And this looks about right. If you do have any issues, you may want to move the joints up and down a little bit just to kind of get them into position. With a thumb, you may need to kind of mess around with it a little bit. So for instance, you can see that's kind of going off at a slant a little bit, because the thumb is at an angle, so you might have to kind of play around with it a little bit just to kind of make sure that it looks about right. Yeah. Now, don't forget as well, it's important to name your joints as well. So make sure that you're in the channel box editor. Mine's quite large for some reason. Let me just snap that to the... There we are. Again, it's extremely important that you do name all your joints. I'm having some issues with my mouse at the second. Just gotta... There we are. My mouse is playing up there for a second. So we'll call this, say, thumb _01. So I'm going to copy that name. And pretty much we just go through it and change the number to 2, 3, and then 4. Same with this. So this is the index 01. Go through that. 02, 03, and 04. And we've got the middle. So again, make sure you name it somewhat appropriate. Middle _1. Just copy that name. Put it there. 2, 3, and 4. And I won't do it for the rest of them, but then you'll have, say, your ring _1, 1, and hopefully by this point you understand, like, yeah, just make sure all these are named correctly. So that would be 0, 2, and that would be 3, and then 4, and then for the last one we would have Pinky underscore 1, copy the name, and then just go through the motions and just make sure that you rename it. So yeah, that's how you create a simple hand for your skeleton.